Hey, Lowell from Gamer Guides here, and today I have a Nioh 3 ninja style build for you. Equally as flexible as it is powerful, the team and I had a lot of fun mowing down yokai and powerful warriors with it. So without wasting any more time, this ninjutsu spam build obviously focuses on the ninja style and the skill stat, as that's what ninjutsu scales with. Ninjutsu is incredibly powerful against regular enemies and most bosses, allowing you to hit and run from a safe distance while stacking status ailments before hopping in close for some heavy damage. It's kind of like role-playing that Moon Knight meme where he's like, random bullshit go. Anyway, the reason why this build is so flexible is because you can change your 3 ninjutsu skills at any time. For some bosses, you'll want Paralysis Shuriken to give you openings for massive burst damage. For others, you'll want to stack fire damage on them to chip away at their health. The weapons that scale off the skill stat are ninja swords, Kusarigama, tonfa, and hatchets. Any one of these will do, so go with your weapon of choice. The dual ninja swords are another option as you'll be putting points into the heart stat for the life and ki gains. Some of my footage you'll see me doing just that. However, there's an armor set called Iga that scales ninjutsu damage and it requires either a one-handed ninja sword or a Kusarigama to get the full bonuses. More on that armor set later. As for a samurai weapon which you'll use sporadically, spears or switchglaives are the way to go as they also scale off skill. I'm a big fan of the switchglaive myself. It also has a potent burst attack to shred enemies that are stunned or paralyzed. As you level up in Nioh 3, you're going to want to prioritize skill without neglecting heart. I typically had about 10 less heart than skill, with a little bit put into stamina so I could equip a bit heavier equipment while maintaining an agility rating of B. At about level 50, my skills looked like this: 9 constitution, 20 heart, 10 stamina, 5 strength, 31 skill, 5 intellect, and 5 magic. Those 4 points in constitution are a requirement for the aforementioned Iga armor set. Don't worry, I'll talk about that soon. As you explore the first map, the Warring States, you'll come across so many ninja locks that you shouldn't have any trouble maxing out the skill tree for your weapon of choice and the ninja itself, which of course includes ninjutsu skills. These come in 3 types: shadow arts, which are more or less elemental damage spells, tool arts, which are your throwables like shuriken, and physical arts, which are dashes and the like. After you select the necessary evade, footstool jump, and midair dodge, you should definitely prioritize tool arts like gunpowder bomb here. Together with Uncanny Flame, which comes pre-unlocked, you shouldn't have problems stacking fire damage over time on foes, which will carry you through the first few major bosses. From there, Pinwheel Shuriken and Paralysis Shuriken are game changers, especially against human foes. With a high enough skill stat, Pinwheel Shuriken can absolutely shred enemies as it hits for extra damage on its way back to you. On the other hand, paralyzing opponents allows you to get behind them and deal massive damage with spammable attacks. Here, the Kusarigama's Reaper attack comes in handy, while the Dual Ninja Blade's Water Sword attack works even better. However, it requires you to spread your stat points a little thinner and miss out on the Iga set's final bonus, which again, I'll talk about really soon, I promise. Later in the game, you can trivialize difficult master fights by simply strafing while spamming ninjutsu attacks, as seen here in this footage from our senior editor Ben Chard. Crazy, right? So about that Iga set. Like most other builds until the late game of Nioh 3, you're pretty much going to want to just equip the best equipment that you have while maintaining a B in agility for a moderate amount of invincibility frames on your dodge. A handful of points in stamina here helps to raise your equipment weight threshold. However, once you unlock the Iga set, which scales your ninjutsu to insane levels, you won't want to equip another armor until late in the second region. You can find the set here once you reach the Futamata area around level 36. Hanzo will be hanging out at this location that you can see here on our interactive map, offering a side quest. Link to the map in the description as always. Complete Hanzo's quest and then head to Hamamatsu, where he'll offer another quest called the Demon's Regimen. Neither quest is difficult to complete, and at the end of this second quest, he'll give you the smithing text you need to craft the Iga set. Next, head to the Eternal Rift and craft the armor for the Iga set. The final piece of this set, a Kusarigama or a one-handed sword, unlocks after reaching the Heian region and completing the Way of a Ninja Adept. But even 5 of the 6 pieces for this set works wonders. You can see here that having several Iga set pieces not only increases ninjutsu damage, it reduces the ki required to dodge and has a chance not to use up a stock of ninjutsu, making this build exponentially more powerful and reliable. Don't forget you need 9 constitution to equip this set. So if you're running a Kusarigama or regular sword, you're going to want that 6th piece as it increases ninjutsu tool damage by a lot. Head over to Hanzo in the Eternal Rift after reaching Heian and speak to him to unlock the required mission. Defeat him and reap the rewards. You can now also equip 2 weapons at once. However, if you switch off the Iga set weapon, you won't get that 6th set bonus. That said, you could switch to it when you want to use ninjutsu and have another weapon you prefer to actually attack with, in the other slot. From here, it's not a bad idea to soul match the Iga set or craft it again every 10 levels or so, as defensively it'll soon be outclassed by armor you loot while exploring. So, the Iga set finally out of the way, there's a handful of findable skills in the first half of the game that help a lot with this build. These are dodging, which decreases the key required to dodge. Combined with the Iga set, you can dodge around bosses for ages. Snake Bite Technique, which increases the amount of damage over time you inflict. This is great when you want to stack a status condition like fire or poison. And Ninjutsu Cultivation, which increases ninjutsu damage. There's also a lot of elemental themed ninjutsu skills, but as for the first half of the game, they're a bit less reliable as weapons imbued with an element are hard to come by. If you're looking for where exactly to find these, you can just type them into our interactive map and they'll pop up, but if you've been playing rather thoroughly, you're likely to stumble upon them naturally with how the map reveals everything to you at Exploration Level 4. For the latter half of the game, Heian and beyond, there's quite a few powerful ninjutsu secret skills to find. Stream Flow increases the stock build rate by 85%, but the gauges will gradually decrease. It's found here in Rokuhara. However, this skill requires constant engagement with enemies rather than hit and run tactics. Shadow Art Superiority is an amazing conditional 15% damage buff, but you won't grab it until very late in the game, making it a better choice for New Game Plus. Likewise, there's a couple of other skills that lead into Shadow Arts, but they come very late in the game and are more for an elemental build. That's a whole separate video. Overall, for this build, you'll find most of the applicable skills by the time you finish the Warring States era, making its playstyle functionally complete as you head towards the mid and end game. And if it wasn't clear already, and as you've probably already seen in my footage, the general style of play with this build is to use your ninjutsu skills up, dash in for some damage to recharge them when safe, and then use them up again. Rinse and repeat. Paralysis works wonders here because with attacks like Reaper, you can recharge your ninjutsu incredibly fast by getting so many consecutive hits in. To increase the amount I can paralyze, I also use the Hino Enma Summon, as she will paralyze foes long enough for me to get behind them. You obviously get this form from defeating the Hino Enma boss, which is fairly early on in the game. Throw in the Iga set and very few bosses will put up a fight against your ninjutsu attacks. And yeah, that's all you need to know for this ninjutsu spam ninja build. If you found this video at all helpful, maybe like and even subscribe so we can continue on our quest to fulfill all your gaming needs here at Gamer Guides.